Alright, so here I got my friend's Dell Inspiron 3520 laptop. He was having a problem with Windows 10, and AVG update basically bricked his computer to where it would not display the desktop anymore. So I went through and reinstalled Windows 7, and as you can tell, I just got done doing a restore. Now remember, I just installed Windows 7. This laptop was built around the time when Windows 7 was the mainstay OS. And actually, if you look this thing up, you can see when the last updates for the computer was. The last updates for a lot of these things were from 2013. Was actually the last update for at least one, which is the little SD card reader. So you can get a general idea how old this laptop is. Now, as you can tell, I'm now actually it's actually able to boot up. But what's been happening is I can install all the drivers that this thing needs, excluding the graphics driver. The instant I install the graphics driver for this computer, instant blue screen of death upon restart. So, on this USB, I got all the specific drivers I need for this computer here. Now, since this is going to take a while, I'm going to have a timestamp in the description below. It'll be the first thing you see, and that timestamp will be at the point of where I start go to is going to be where I start the installation of the graphics driver. And then the subsequent blue screens of death. Now, there are two graphic drivers for this computer here. One is for Intel, and one's if you have an NVIDIA GPU. This thing does not have an NVIDIA GPU. This thing only has an Intel GPU. It has Intel 3000 graphics. And the only reason why I'm going to include me installing all these updates is to show what I did. So I'm just going to go down the list, and I'm going to exclude the and I'm going to do the graphic driver last. I'm going to install everything else, and like I said, I'm going to keep the graphic drivers last. Though I might need to plug the thing in. I'm going to grab the battery charger thing. I may need to tell my friend that he might need to swap back to his old HP laptop, because this thing's blue screening on installing a necessary driver. I'm hoping someone on Linus Tech Tips can help me out, because all the times I've worked on my computers, my friends' computers, I've never had bullshit like this before. This is a legitimate first for me, and I don't know what to do. I mean, I'm downloading drivers directly from Dell's website themselves. And like I said, the only time I start having blue screens is when I go to install the graphic driver. Now I want to install the next one so I can keep myself knowing what drivers I'm installing. Yeah, I can't get this back to him if it's blue screening. If it's blue screening like this, I mean, I know most people are just gonna skip to the part of me installing the GPU drivers, but I still want to rant. I mean, I'm legitimately confused. I mean, I've had old computers like this before that never done this type of bullcrap to me. But when this does its thing, I'm actually going to shut this down and pull a few files off on my hard drives. Still gonna pull that Draken model so I can actually finish it. Luckily, I can get to all my hard drives without any problems. Did not ask me for a restart. Alrighty then. Alright, hopefully this should boot without any problems. Pretty sure it's going to say I already have these on here, but I'm going to take a look. Hey, boot it up without any problem. Good. Alright, so what exactly do I need to copy over? Is this what I need to copy over? Yep, that's what I need to copy over. Hit restart. Let's see what happens. Alright, so I'm just going to drop this to here, and that's pretty much it. Now I should copy over those files too, since it is part of the original file setup. That would be nice to have just in case. Alright, so that's all up and running. You can go away, Origin. No one gives a shit about you. The reflections are awesome. Alright, so I got a startup sound now for this thing, so that's good. Alright, so input. Alright, now I gotta reboot back into my other hard drive since I got what I need off. Alright, pop that in there. Pop that in. There we go with that. Alright, and I should be able to just go into the file, go to where I need, and just... Huh. Okay, looks like I gotta actually copy over one more thing. Dang it. Unless I'm keeping myself busy and not bored as I wait for this computer to do what it needs to do. So incredibly boring. Man, I can't even computer. Really using Paprika 3? I know he has Paprika 4, and I need Paprika 4 to work. We're good. Okay, there's Paprika 4. Alright, there we go. That. Shut that down. Alright, so that was the touchpad. Okay, it's a lot more nicer now. Alright, network driver. I'm not going to connect this to my wireless yet. Fucking computer. Okay, yeah, my desktop, which you guys really can't see other than just for right here. I actually have a M.2 to SATA controller hard drive board thingy, one of those little adapters. I have that plugged into my 250 gig M.2. It boots up significantly faster than my actual SSD. Well, granted, I really haven't loaded this thing up yet with actual programs and whatnot, so that does help. That does help with the actual boot times. But this thing is still relatively. This thing boots up relatively fast. Alright. Dual designer. Alright, looks like everything's still the way it needs to be. So why is that here? Okay, so I'll just chuck that to the side. I'm actually missing a section on the... Crap, I can't remember what our section is I'm missing. Oh yeah, it's that little section, so I gotta go find where that's placed again. That's not it. Shoot, where is it? Ow. Whatever. I'll screw with it later, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, I'll just screw with that later. I'll just get the little wingtips made. Okay, where are those little wingtips at? Okay, so that's needed, that's needed, that's needed. Alright, that's all my internet. That's all of my internet connections. For the sake of this video, I'm actually restart required. I'm going to actually restart it now. Restart. Alright, so that should be all the parts I need for the winglets. So if I go objects and deselect everything excluding the wings, it should be just fine and I can figure it out for myself. Okay, it's everything excluding the little pylons. They're the little pylons. As you can tell, booted up just fine. Okay, so now just figure out what sections are for which so I don't accidentally... Okay, so what do I want to work on first? I think I want to work on this section first. Alright. And this section here. So that makes one whole section. This makes the other whole section. I'll just scooch this off to the side for now. Okay, so why would it have it as a... Okay, so why would it have an option for that in the actual website? Okay, well, whatever. Okay, so here is where I'm actually going to start installing the graphic drivers for this computer. I'm actually, for the sake of this video, for the sake of this part, just to say if someone actually does skip to this section, that I installed all the drivers Everything works just fine. I'm going to restart before I actually install the drivers just to show that everything's in full working order. Okay, I need to go look at how I actually put this, how I actually do the little winglets on my original Draken. I really can't remember how I did it. I'm pretty sure I had this as is. Alright, and as you can tell, everything loaded up just fine. No blue screens of death. No nothing. So after 20 or so minutes of installing drivers, I'm now going to destroy all that just by installing this one driver that is needed for this computer to operate properly. I'm pretty sure it's how I had that set up. So I go to here and divide this in half. That should be more or less correct there. I believe I actually had these divided like this. Or was it divided like this? No. Alright, so this right here is where I'm going to blow away my 20 plus minutes of waiting for drivers to install. Rest in peace, 20 plus minutes of work. You are going to be completely missed. Or you're going to be missed. Because, yeah, with this simple little driver, I just undid all that work. As you can tell, it just blue screened. And like I said, all I've done was install a fucking graphics driver. Why is this? It shouldn't do this. Also, for the ones that are wondering about my Draken build, I am working on it. I'm actually in the process of getting all the parts sectioned out for my next part of this build. I'm actually going to build the winglets, also just blue screened again. That way, so tomorrow I can actually go and print all this out and actually start working on it. Though I think I'm going to look back at how I actually arranged some of the components to make it just a tad bit easier on me to fix, because I know I had it fairly good at whatever. And of course, if I go into system repair and do a system repair, it'll just basically just restore it back to basically when the thing was literally brand new and I wasn't installing anything to it. Basically meaning I gotta go in there and reinstall all the drivers. Everything all over again. And as you can tell, the thing restarted, but I lost all the drivers and everything. Oh no, I still got all the drivers apparently. Okay, so I'm going to go and connect this thing to my internet. Alright, so give it a couple seconds. Wow, the Wi-Fi on this thing actually sucks. I'm like, what, 20 feet away from my wireless router. And now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to just do updates normally. Alright, so that's all one ways matters. It looks correct, so that's good. Yep, that's exactly the way I did it originally. Alright, so now I just gotta get this to its proper deal, and we're good to go. Alright. So that's all done now. That's one winglet. Now I gotta do the same for the other winglet. And I gotta give myself another paprika code, so Google to the rescue. Because doing what you're told is too difficult. Okay. So all the updates I want to find, or the only update I want to actually install, is the one for the graphic drivers. Here it is. I just want to install one driver, the VGA driver. That's all I want to install. Nothing more, nothing less. Alright. So let's see if this kills it. And remember, this is from the actual updater itself. There we go. Alright, so I got that figured out. Just had to do a tad bit of a searching on YouTube. And I found what I needed. Now the question is, will this blue screen again? Well, that's new at least. Reflections are awesome. It fucking blue screened again? What is with this bullshit? Everything else works just fine. It just blue screens every single time I install a driver. Install the graphic driver. What bullshit is this? And of course, after I do that, everything's in full working order yet again. I don't know. I don't know what else to do with this thing. Because if I can't get the graphic driver in this thing running properly, I can't really get us back to him. I mean, yes, I can go and convert this back to 720p, but he actually games on this thing. Granted, the games he plays really are just like City Civilization 5 or something like that. I don't know what type of actual GPU power it needs, but it does run on this thing apparently. And I know it won't run. I know that game won't run right with the generic plug and play drivers that this thing currently has. So hopefully someone online Tech Tips can figure out what the hell is going on with this thing, because this is fucking annoying. And he doesn't want Windows 10 on this thing again. And I don't want to put Windows 10 on this thing because Windows 10 is fucking garbage. And remember, everything works just fine until I install a graphics driver. The instant I install the graphics driver for this computer, Bluescreen instantly